It's the entertainment paradise of Africa. Sun City, nestled in the heart of the Pilanesberg. It's the jewel in Sun International's crown and is home to millions of revelers every year. It's also home to the fifth leg of the Donaldson Cross-Country Championship, the Sun City 400, the competition's flagship event on the calendar. Rob, this must be a great moment for you here at the starting line where everything's come together, all the hard work and everybody's good to go.
Yes, and you can see it's a big event, lots of vehicles competing down here. Sun City is always popular. It's a great place to be, and yeah, we're really excited to get the racing going.
As is everyone else. All eyes were on Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy from Castrol Toyota, and the pair didn't disappoint. The duo went into the race tied at the top of the standings, but after blitzing their way through qualifying, they went on to secure their third win on the trot and take hold of the outright lead in the championship.
The men managed to move clear of Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst in the Ford Ranger. The Dakar-bound duo finished third in the race but are second in the standings.
They actually started the day in third place but quickly lost their position to teammates Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable after a small navigational error. However, they managed to get their spot back and ultimately land on the podium.
They won the championship last year and are currently lying in third. Duncan Vos and Rob Howie from Castrol Toyota.
10th in the race but 4th in the championship, Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson in the Atlas Copco Toyota Hilux.
5th in the championship after finishing 5th in the race, Gary Bertholdt and Siegfried Rousseau in their new Atlas Copco Nissan Navara.
While Malcolm Koch and Johan Berger from Koch & Sons Toyota Hilux failed to finish, they're still in the top 10.
We mentioned them earlier, Woolridge and Huxtable from Ford Racing, currently 7th in the standings. Woolridge was recently named as one of 5 South Africans shortlisted to attend the FIA Young Drivers Academy.
A rare failure by their standards from Michu de Bruin and Henry Hiku, 14th place taking them to 8th overall.
The best placed team in the Regent Racing stable, Michael Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson, 9th overall after a brilliant drive.
The pair had their fair set of problems during qualifying and started the race in 34th position before producing what was arguably one of the drives of the day.
Rounding off the top 10, Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux, an impressive 7th place for them in the Pilanesberg. Also impressive, Archie Rutherford and the man sitting beside me, Derek Alberts, in the Imperial Automotive Nissan Navara, sitting 11th overall.
We managed to finish the race in 9th. Now 12th in the championship are Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger from RFS Motorsport. They were the last of the SPs to finish, coming home in 16th place.
Thomas Rundle and John Moore from Regent Racing had a superb outing in Botswana, winning the Dakar Challenge. Not so this time round, as they failed to get past qualifying.
Graham and Trevor Leith finished a few places behind Archie and I in the race. After they lost a bolt on the steering rack, they ended 12th to go 14th overall.
Dion Venter and Ian Palmer from Trisum Racing were superb, finishing 6th at Sun City in their Toyota Hilux.
Now, Venter was in fact co-driver for Archie Rutherford on the last day in Botswana, but this time he finds himself behind the wheel. Now, 2 men who helped me tremendously with getting to grips with navigating, Terence Marsh and Gerard Skitter from Regent Racing, finishing 13th despite fuel pressure problems.
Brother and sister team Jacques and Lizelle van Tonder unfortunately didn't make it to the finish, reason being?
Fortunately, they came out unscathed, also unable to make it to the end, but 18th overall, Gerald Leroux and Henrik Badenhorst from Rubicon Racing in their Ford Ranger.
The man who captured 3 stage wins at Dakar on a quad, Cyril van Biljon alongside Philip Harselman, the Atlas Copco pair, came in 11th.
Racing for the first time in the SP class, Luke Boert and Kevin Durston from Force Fuel, a credible 15th for the rookies.
Taylor and Murphy then moving clear of Ford Racing's Visser and Badenhorst.
I must say it's equal for everybody. I must say the racing is so competitive these days. It's just a matter of if you make a little bit small mistake, then you're out the competition. So yeah, I must say competition is very stiff now.
So Taylor and Murphy taking their total points haul to 110.5, 10 ahead of Visser and Badenhorst, while Vos and Howie stay third with 74. Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson are fourth, 5.5 points clear of fifth place Atlas Copco teammates Bertholdt and Rousseau.
Sun City saw a welcome return to action for Willem Vos. He last went behind the wheel in Bloemfontein last year. You're back in action after that role in Bloem. What are your memories of that whole episode?
Yes, dit was nogal erg geweest. As jy weer terugklim in die kar dan is jy maar 'n bietjie op jou senuwees en ry bietjie stadiger. Dit was maar 'n dom fout geweest, drywers error. Ons is terug, ons gaan hierdie wedren ry en dan gaan ons die einde van die jaar weer daai laaste wedren ry en dan hopelik volgende jaar kan ons weer 'n jaar maak van dit.
Here's the man who looks like he should be on the rugby field rather than behind the wheel. Force Fuels Luke Botha. Your plans for moving to SP?
Firstly, to have fun. I mean, it's a major learning curve. The car is very, very different to a Class E. Handles differently, it's a lot faster, it's much more capable. So I've really had to adjust my driving style. So today's a learning curve. We'll pick up our speed slowly, but most importantly, we're going to have a lot of fun today.
And how much seat time have you actually had?
Just left of 0. My navigator hasn't even been in the car yet. I've taken it for 2 short burns. But don't know if it's confidence or arrogance, but we're going for it today.
Well, let's move on to the class where Luke would have been competing, Class D and E.
Well, we've already seen Dad Dion Venter in action. Here's his son Jason alongside Vincent van Alleman. The Trisom Racing pair are top of the standings following their 3rd place finish.
The giants of the sport, literally, Jack and Cyril Oosthuizen admitted that the route was just too fast. They came home in 4th place but are 2nd overall in their Land Rover Defender.
The instantly recognizable Toyota Land Cruiser of Johannes van der Horn from Molelaan Toyota. The pair finished 1st, taking them to 3rd in the championship.
Donna Force and Henry de Kock had a great outing, a 2nd place finish for them in their Toyota Hilux.
Big D Douglas Fear 1st in Class Youth as Brighton's removal navigator Kurt de Villiers means that they're 2nd in the championship.
Well, it didn't look good at this stage for Dirk Pitter and Cyril Craig, their self-described little bucky, having trouble, but they did manage to finish. So Venter and Van Alleman leading Class D with 54 points, 10 clear of the Oosthuizens, Jack and Cyril. Despite their mishaps, Pitter and Claessens lead the way in Class E, 17 points clear of Fear and de Villiers. We've had the likes of Stefan de Blanche, Natalie de Toy, Fanny de Villiers and Roxy Lowe. This time it was the turn of our very own Derek Alberts to sit in the Imperial Automotive hot seat.
I'm just so disappointed that it's come to an end because obviously it's been building up to this over the last couple of months and now it happened and I loved every single second. This time round I was a bit disappointed after the prologue because I thought I could have done a bit better. I lost my way in the book a bit. This time round I think I can say without fear of contradiction that I actually didn't lose my place at all. Maybe Archie will tell you differently, but we had a great ride today. And then once you ride, I mean, geez, I'll never look at this race in the same way again, especially from a navigator's point of view as well. I mean, it's a very hard job. Not saying that I did it well, but I've got tremendous respect for the navigators out there, as I do the drivers, obviously, but I mean, that goes without saying. But there's no doubt in my mind that whenever I look at another race again on the Donaldson cross-country calendar, I will know how tough it is, how hard it is, how fast it is, and how great it is as well.
Well, congratulations, Derek. You and Archie finished 9th overall, the best finish in the Celeb Challenge. You and Roxy Lowe topped the standings on 7 points, 4 clear of former Bok winger Stefan de Blanche, while the inaugural Idols winner Heinz Winkler is 4th.
It's regarded as the toughest race in the world, the Dakar Rally. This year will see the 35th running of the event, and for the 6th time in succession, it will take place in South America. The race will start in Argentina at the beginning of January, go through Bolivia for the first time, before ending in Chile.
Castrol Toyota will be competing in the event for a 3rd time, while Ford Racing announced that they'll be making their debut in the competition. The men doing the business? None other than Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst.
Toyota will be represented by former champs Chanel de Villiers and Dirk van Zijdewitz and new driver Leroy Poulter and Rob Howie. Another man who will make his debut, Dakar Challenge winner Thomas Rundle from Regent Racing.
Thomas, it's been a month since the Dakar Challenge. Has it sunk in yet?
I don't think so, to be honest. You know, it's been an unbelievable 4 weeks, and you know, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. The only fact that I know right now is that we're going to Dakar. I think that's where we have it at the moment. I think the big difference in Dakar is driving in the dunes, understanding the dunes, understanding how the dunes form, and driving them at speed. I think that's something that we don't do in South Africa. So that's the big step up from South African racing.
Welcome back onto the specials now, and one team that faces a daunting task is the Max's team of Leon and Ian Miller.
Ons is nuut in die span. Ons is maar al twee ex-squad ouens. Maar motorfietsgery besluit om mekaar te koop. En hierdie is ons eerste national.
You've competed in 2 regional events, so this is basically your 3rd race. I mean, how are you feeling about that?
Alles was lekker opgewonde daaroor. So ons moet maar kyk hoe gaan dit vandag. So die ander was baie lekker geweest. So ons is redelik baie opgewonde oor ons nuwe oor die nationals. So ons sal sien hoe gaan dit.
From a Bat Spec 3 to a Cobalt Striker, let's catch up with Jimmy Zahos from Cobalt Racing.
We're running new shocks in the car. We designed a whole new chassis, different hubs. The hubs are all in-house, the gearbox is in-house, everything's in-house. So that's why it's taken us 2 years to design and build this car. She's really going to go quick.
Well, good luck, Jimmy. One team that didn't need luck in Class A, Herman and Richard Sulwald. The Elegant Fuel pair finished first in their class and second amongst special vehicles to top the standings.
Second on the table, Motorride Racing's Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen after reaching the flag in 3rd place. The pair got quite lost during the first loop, but it was a much better effort second time round. I can confirm that the route is extremely tricky and I fell out of the roadbook on the odd occasion.
In 3rd spot in the championship, Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell in their Dirt Sports Components Porter. The pair loved the race and did well to finish 4th.
Despite being covered in camouflage, you can't miss Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen, 6th place for them.
5th in the championship, the Motorride team of Nick and Ryan Harper.
The other set of Elegant Fuel Sulwalds, Quinton and Cully, failed to finish. They dropped to 6th in the standings.
Keith Dutoy and Keith Solomon also secured the dreaded DNF, falling to 7th overall.
And the same fate befell Daniel and Lo Zealy from Maxis. In fact, it was their 3rd time this season they failed to reach the flag.
Daniel Brooks opted out of the Botswana race, but he was back for Sun City, finishing 11th in his Ducatis property Bat Spec 4.
Mark Corbett and Julian Hardy from Century Racing put on an exceptional race, finishing 2nd in Class A to climb to 10th in the standings. The pair just managed to make it to the flag as they were running very low on fuel towards the end of the race. A great result for the pair.
There was heartbreak for Lance Trethewey and Spencer Krill. They led for most of the race, but their fuel relay kept clicking out as they went on to finish in 5th.
Peter Ruthven and Rian Gelpa from Rubicon Racing are 12th in the championship after picking up 6 points for their 10th place finish.
Marius Fourie and Jaco van Aert are 3 spots outside the top 10. They experienced a faulty selector switch during the race.
Nardis and Louis Alberts had an incredible race, making up loads of spots to finish 6th in class. The man from Botswana, Mogre Mabile, and his co-driver Zelda Niemand reached the finish in 14th place, the 2 points moving them to 16th.
Neil Mayer and Joseph Lewis of Maxis Liqui Moly Rockstar proved to be the last Class A to make it to the finish.
But they're still ahead of Eduardo Agazi and his young co-driver Adrian Rutz in the championship, despite the pair finishing 12th.
We heard from them earlier, Leon Miller and Ian Miller. Despite this being just their 3rd race, they managed to pick up coincidentally 3 points. An impressive performance from the Maxis Liqui Moly Rockstar duo.
Well, they may have been 2nd on the specials podium, but they were 1st in Class A, Herman and Richard Sulwald from Elegant Fuel.
Today was just one big battle from the word go. We were in the dust the whole day, overtaking Bakkies cars, taking chances. We are really, really happy. We didn't get out of the car once, no punches, nothing. It was just lucky for us. It was our day.
So 17.5 points separate the Sulwalds from the Motorride pair of Hutchison and Stassen, while Gibson and Campbell are 3rd with 68 points, just under 20 points off the leaders. De Vries and Viljoen are in 4th spot.
Well, despite boasting a smaller engine with less horsepower, the cars in Class P and B often challenge the competitors in Class A, like Colin Matthews, who's with the new co-driver.
Colin and I spent a lot of time together in the car, and I have spent a couple of good hours in the car testing with Colin, so I'm very comfortable in the car at least.
You do look a bit nervous though.
I'm honestly terrified because I've seen the way he drives it when he's testing, so I can't imagine what it's like when there's a win at stake.
John Thompson and Maurice Matten were the frontrunners going into the race, and they kept hold of the championship with a 2nd place finish.
Despite having a new co-driver, Matthews was brilliant in his Century CR3. Rodney Burke looked the business as the pair secured the victory, not only in Class P, but in the special vehicles category as well. They managed to get past Trathui towards the end, and the result puts them second in the championship.
Kutsia and Sandra Labuskaghni failed to make it to the finish after taking a heavy hit to the rear, but they remain third in the season campaign.
Jeremy Wood and Ashley Thorne also struggled in their AceCo K9. No finish for them, although it didn't hurt their progress too much as they're in 4th place.
These two were able to go all the way, Keith Makanetti and Tylo Mochabileli. They didn't compete in Botswana, but they returned to the championship to finish 4th, climbing to 6th overall in their Zarko.
And here's the other Makanete, Andrew alongside Reginald Motabile, their Zarko Magnum proving to be the last special to cross the line.
Ernest Corbett and Martin Hermido from Century Racing managed an impressive 3rd place in their Century CR2, putting them 9th overall.
But it was the other Century Racing vehicle that drew all the attention, belonging to Matthews and Burke, the pair doing what they just managed to miss out on in Botswana, a memorable victory.
The win takes them to 69 points, still 27.5 adrift of the leaders Thompson and Zermatten. The Labuskaghnis, Kutsia and Sandra are third, a further 32 points in arrears.
From the nationals to the regionals, it might be short-end distance, but there's no doubt the Sun City 200 is as tough as they come.
At the moment, the championship's pretty close to the top. We've got a couple of guys that are really separated by only a couple of points each. The championship overall is doing really well. The structures are in place and we're getting quite a few new guys that are coming through, which is pleasing to see. Our sponsors, KEC, Force Fuel and Donaldson, have provided a great platform for new regional guys to come through, and we're seeing the rewards of that coming through. The championship growing, increase in entries, and trying to increase the quality of our championship events.
The man to catch, Hill Nell.
Hill, you're actually leading the championship at the moment. You excited for today?
Yes, very. It's almost a history race, this one, and they've moved it a little bit to a different area here, but it's always very nice. It's very competitive here because there's a lot of entries, so it is more competitive than the other races that's far away where there's not so many entries, but very excited for today.
From a veteran to a rookie of sorts.
We like to say fresh meat, new to racing competition, although I'm sure it can't be your first experience.
No, it's not my first experience in racing. It's first experience in cars, but obviously I've done some off-road racing in motorbike and that type of thing. Yeah, but it's the first one in cars, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping to give it a go, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah? And something new, something exciting. Adrenaline is pumping, so we're ready.
Then there are the guys who just like to work too much.
Frikkie, competing in not only the nationals but the regionals as well. Why?
I used to compete in the nationals about 6 years ago, and I missed it so much that I started building a car and did one regional and now the first national again. Yeah.
And what is the difference between the two?
They're more strict here by the nationals. The rules are more tight, and yeah, I can't say better organized, but it's everything is on time and yeah, well organized.
The men leading the regional championships, Kiel Nell and Paul Slabbert in their Zarko, they were first to start.
Closely followed by Johan and Jeremy Mitchell in their Sandmaster.
They started in 16th place, but incredibly Rickers Prinsloo and Loert Combrink were sensational on their day, bringing home their bat in first place.
They started in 2nd place, and that's where they stayed. The Sandmaster of the Mitchells coming home just under 3 minutes after the leaders.
Reaching the flag in 3rd place in Class P, championship leaders and the men on pole, Giel Nel and Paul Slabbert.
Now this was something special. Nalda Pieterse and Clarence Visser-Kerke finished first in Class Y in a Can-Am Maverick 1000, also known as a side-by-side.
Expect to see those vehicles a lot more in the future. Now, we saw them competing in the Sun City 400, and here they are on the 200, Dana Vos and Henry de Kock, finishing first in the production vehicles in their Hilux. Cobus Fourie was the first driver to capture the flag in Class B. Nice manoeuvring to get past Wolf Peter Fumfai. Incidentally, Fumfai built both of those vehicles, the WPPs.
Fumfai, an absolute legend in this sport, finished second in Class B, making it a 1-2 for his WPPs.
Second in Class Y, the Club Challenge, Gerard and Mickey van der Linde in their Raceco.
The second production vehicles to reach the flag, but the first in Class E, Wessel and Albertus Krill in their ex-Rubicon Racing Ford.
Jaco du Plessis and Louis Bester third in the Club Challenge in their Toyota.
A tight bunch here resulted in Johan Steyn and Gerard Roos finishing third in Class B, closely followed by Greg Higgins and Michael Muirhead. Both vehicles had fun overtaking the Toyota Hilux of Dierwald Hattung and Duc du Plessis, who finished second in Class D.
Speaking of overtaking, Rob Reed and Bodo Schwegler had no problems getting through in the aging Pajero, which started life as a Neil Woolridge and Kenny Scholtheimer charge.
Willie Velman and Henro Fourie finished fourth in the Club Challenge in their Ford Bantam.
On board with Martinez Leroux and Gustav Pinard, the dust on this route makes it almost impossible to see sometimes, especially if someone's ahead of you. But yeah, they managed to get by on their way to a fourth place in Class B.
There's no doubting that Sun City has seen plenty of Fenters this weekend. And here's another one, Dylan Venter, part of the famous racing family, alongside Ruan Pierce, the Troysome racing pair finishing third in Class E.
Great view here from the seat of Francois Smit in his Sandmaster Magnum, gaining quickly on David and Martin van Jaarsveld. So after a fairly tight battle, Smit spotting a gap and taking it. Great overtaking there from the man in yellow. He finished fifth in Class B.
Gert Steyn and Tanya Berger finished third in Class Z in their Toyota Hilux, doing so in just under 2.5 hours.
They were closely followed by the Levinsons, Glenn and Kevin, who managed to finish fourth in Class Z in the Club Challenge. The Sun City 200 is also the fifth leg in the Northern Regions Championship, and this is certainly the starting block for aspirant national champions.
Some nice driving from Dion Boysons and Sidrian de Villiers. Sidrian, who in this event swapped the driving seat for the navigator's seat.
The last of the finishers in Class P, Clive and Sean Sutherland in their Aceco. This car used to be owned by Clint Brook, but currently experiencing engine trouble.
So a tremendous victory for Rickers Prinsloo and Louis Kombrink, first in a time of 1 hour 52 minutes and 43 seconds, over 2 minutes clear of the Mitchells, Johan and Jeremy, Hilnell and Paul Slabbert finishing third.
With the champagne popped and celebrations underway, let's catch up with our winners in the Sun City 200.
The race today, obviously everything went according to plan, or didn't it?
Well, not exactly. When we drove off here in the first 5 kilometers, we lost our intercom system. I was actually able to hear my navigator, but you couldn't hear anything that I said. 40 kilometers.
Keep the nagging. Keep the nagging away.
40 kilometers further, we lost the clutch, so we kept on like that. And then afterwards, what happened as well?
Yeah, we realized the car was only running on 5 cylinders out of the 6, so we couldn't get very high top speeds.
Otherwise, it went perfect. We can't complain about anything.
So, despite finishing third, Nell and Slabbert are still on top of the standings on 74 points, but they have just a 5-point lead over Mitchell and Mitchell, while Cobus Fourie is in third spot.
In the production vehicle stakes, it was a resounding victory for Dana Vos and Henry de Kock in their Toyota Hilux.
Donnie, your first race of the year, and you come out and you do this.
Ja, kijk, het was lekker.
Eerste national vir die jaar gewees en die regional was lekker. Ons het 'n bietjie in die eerste ronde ophoud gehad met 'n papwiel wat ons geplaai het. En die Jack wat nie lekker wou saamwerk nie, maar verder het dit lekker gegaan. Die roete was lekker. Die kar het homself goed gedraai, navigator het goed gedoen. So ons is tevrede met wat ons gedoen het.
So it was a beautiful day today at Sun City. Everything went according to plan.
Het was baie lekker geweest. Ons het op die boek gebly en daarna die res van die werk gedoen.
Reed and Schwegler led the way in the production standings, 10 points clear of the two Creoles, Wessel and Albertus.
We have had an absolute blast here at Sun City. The Sun City 400 has been yet another great success, and what a fantastic venue for this particular race. It's been a memorable weekend, and we look forward to making more memories with you the next time when we'll be at the Freiburg 400. We'll see you then.
Next up in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, the 6th leg of the year. It takes place in Freiburg on the 6th and 7th of September. We'll see you there.
The Donaldson Cross Country Championship, brought to you by Donaldson Filtration Systems, a market leader in filtration solutions.